Welcome to another Splinterlands TV stream by me. I'm listening to my own voice on Twitch and I don't wish to do that, so I'm going to mute myself. Hey Max, today we are going to do a tier list for Rift Watchers. We're going to go through the QA server, have a look at the Rift Watchers cards, and we are going to decide as a Twitch chat, as a group, what the tier of individual Rift Watchers cards are going to be. Now I've come up with some categories of my own. The first category is burn the card, as in you get it in a pack, you just burn it, you throw it away. We're going to put what we believe to be the poorest of cards into that category. And then we've got another category, meh. We just don't care about that card. Then we're going to have a category where we're going to use that card in battle. And then, finally, we've got the category that the Chief of FOMO, our beloved Aggie, would be into, which is push and shove. Alright. We can make a god tier. Should the god tier be below push and shove or above push and shove? Or should we also make a tier that is just cheating? Let's make another category beyond push and shove, and we'll just call it cheating. So let's go ahead and go look at these cards on the Splinterlands QA server. So I'm flicking back over to there and I'm going through the splinters one by one. First up, we have the Ash Mirage. It's a fire splinter unit. It costs 7 mana. At diamond level, it's got 4 attack, 6 speed, 8 health. Now, how does that compare to other fire cards? So let's look at all fire cards, not Gladius ones though, and we can sort it by the amount of ranged attack. So where's it going to come in, this particular guy? So for 7 mana, would you play this guy over, say, a Bloodmaker, Headwinds, Reflection Shield? I'm gonna say that we're gonna do the cards at their max levels, but you're completely right, Max. Their tiers would be completely different based on whether you're playing Gold League or Diamond League or Silver or Bronze or even Novice. So yeah, I don't know. Let's just try and evaluate them overall. So we're gonna be starting with the Ash Mirage. Let's look at its stats over time. I think this card is pretty meh. That's where I want to put this card. I want to put it in the meh field because I feel like for 7 mana there's better choices available. I've got Sean NFT saying that it should go in the meh category as well. Do we have any great and noble defenders of the Ash Mirage, or is it going to be condemned to the meh pile? I believe it should be condemned to the meh pile. Don't tell me that my Photoshop is going to decide to crash. Yes, I'm using Photoshop for such a basic exercise that I could be doing in PowerPoint or even Paint probably. Oh, there we go. It was just taking forever to respond. There we go. All right. So we have our first card immediately into the tier list, and it is in the mech category. Now we'll move on to this Septic Slime fella. Now I have a very, very soft spot for cards that are able to heal themselves. The only weakness that this card has got is its speed is 1. So if you're going to stun something, you need to be able to stun something. you need to be able to hit it. The fact that it's got heal still, it's going to heal at the end of the round. It's got enough health to be really awesome. I think this is going to be an incredible card for reverse speed. I think it will be able to edge out something like the magma guy thing, lava soldier man, whatever he's called, that I forget the name of. He is a thorny rusty boy, that guy. I think he's going to give that guy a run for its money. I think I could see myself using the septic slime in battle, but I'm not super. Yes, lava soldier, that's the one, Elephantium, thank you. I don't see myself using the septic slime as a initial go-to, particularly not in a wild league, but it does give the fire splinter another stun, which I don't have an enormous amount of. So I'm going to say the septic slime, they can be used in battle, but they are very situational. That's their only caveat there. Reverse speed in particular, they will be good at. Now, I know lots of people love the Tinderlock. It looks like an incredible card. It looks like a great addition to the Fire Splinter, particularly for champion level, because you've got Last Stand, you've got that close range, you've got a Silence, which Fire Splinter sorely needs as a counter to many of the other Splinters in the game. And you've got Death Blow. Death Blow combined with Last Stand is going to be absolutely crazy. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you here, Sean NFT. Tinderlock for a rare card is, in my opinion, somewhere between push and shove and cheating. The only thing that's going to really slow them down is going to be Giant Killer, because they do sneak in with that 10 mana cost. So, you know, this is a collaborative list here. It's not just going to be all me calling the shots here. Then we've got next the Techno Wizardologist. We've got another stun. And for 6 mana, stun and camouflage and fury. I think this is another push and shove. This might even be God tier. I feel like this is a good Kraken destroyer. Absolutely will destroy Kraken, and will also destroy something like Shield Bearer. Provided, of course, that it's not being played with a certain summoner known as Grandmaster Wraith. I'm putting this guy in the cheating tier. I mean, he's sort of like halfway closer on the cheating sort of range, I think. But I'm gonna put him in cheating, because I feel like every Splinter should have at least one card in the cheating tier. I think it's gonna be great, the Techno-Wizologist. I'm just gonna make these smaller because I've realized that we're gonna get a lot of cards as we go through this. And yes, this card, particularly the camouflage, the only thing that's going to really take this guy down is going to be Magic Reflect. So fire doesn't gain any ground against the Death Splinter, but against life and water, oh boy, is fire going to get good. Next, we have the summoner, Skago. Gives everybody some angriness. I think my opinion on this one is pretty meh, because the cards that have Enrage in fire have Enrage for a reason, unless there's some fire cards that are going to get Retaliate that don't already have Enrage. Yeah, there's no retaliation there. It's gonna be, I don't know how to feel. I think it's just meh. I think it is just meh for a summoner. Everyone gets fairy. They're not a blacksmith, they're just a costume maker, and they convert animal skins into elaborate cloaks. Expert Splinter, I am taking these cards and basically ranking them into different categories. So we're saying this card is good, this card is better, this card is amazing, and this card is just broken and is cheating, or something like that. Hopefully that simplifies it a little bit for you. Next we're going to look at the mighty legendary Mortius. Now, I have a very soft spot for opportunity creatures, and he's missing the speed, this Mortius guy, but 7 mana, stun, opportunity, plus piercing. This is just Dragon Jumper. And where would we put Dragon Jumper on a tier list? I'd put Dragon Jumper on a very solid choice. Would use in battle, but not quite push and shove. So in terms of the usability rank, very, very, very far to this direction, I think. That's my placement for it. He's good. Speed is a little bit The piercing plus the 5 damage. Imagine this guy with Daria Dragon Scale in Wild, or a couple of Inspires where you're not facing someone who's got Force Field. This guy is going to be an absolute freak, but very easily counterable by Thorns. Thorns will be their weakness. That 4 health is pretty low. Maybe God in Novice. They've only got opportunity in Novice at level 1. I don't know if there's... Oh, yeah, 5 health. Yeah, God. Absolute God tier in Novice, because they've already got that 5 damage. When they get to the diamond level, though, they start to lose some of that luster, because there's not many things that can stop 5 damage in those lower tiers. So yeah, I think single BCX market for this one. I think I'm going to put him like right on the line between use it in battle and push and shove, because in Novice and Bronze this guy will do some very serious damage. Well, it's good that so far we don't have any burn the cards. Let's move on now to our next Splinter, which is going to be Blue Splinter. And we will have a look at the Coastal Nymph. So we've got a Blue Splinter card that costs 9 mana, has Scattershot and Affliction. That could be very useful, but it doesn't get that Affliction until level 6. I think this is a very situational card. I think I wouldn't use it. Why would I use this as an Affliction based card for 9 mana when I could use Dr. Blight? Is there another water card that is introduced that has Fury? Let's have a quick look, because Fury is going to be the best and the better counter. Does water get any Fury? That's the summoner, so no. Okay, so water doesn't get any Fury. Yeah, I think I'd play Captain's Ghost over this card, because if you're up against a blue Return Fire team or one of the other things, it is unique in that the triage can't be the Affliction won't be able to be cleansed, but I still think it's pretty meh. I I don't see the point. Maybe I'm wrong. But 9 mana's a ton of mana for a Scattershot Affliction. It'll be effective against Life Splinter. It'll be God mode against Life Splinter. But I think it kind of would need Blast. I mean, it is only a common. But if it had Blast and Affliction was spread by Blast, oh god, would this be an amazing card. But that's sort of where I'm landing on that one. Next up, we've got the Lemel Refugee. Let's have a look at what they look like at max level. They've got Void Armor and Enrage, and they've already got pretty good speed. 7 mana. How do you say this one's push or shove or cheating? Why would you not just play Almo? Almo can dodge magic, and then if he gets hit by magic, he can just throw it back in their face. There's better choices for 7 mana. I know it's a common. But my feeling on this one is if you're super quick but you've got no armor, I mean, you've got 4. The other thing to consider as well is ranged attacks are going to shred this card. Absolutely shred them if they can hit. True Strike is going to be big. You give it phase with a new Dragon Summoner. Yeah, but Almo already has it. Lord Arianthus, you're going to throw that damage right back at them. I think the Void Armor, it's great, but then the other thing that I'm considering now is repair is a big thing in Blue Splinter now with Mermaid Healer. So if you combine this card with Mermaid Healer as well as another Protect to increase her armor further, you play this with Deep Swimmer, I think I'd use it in battle. I would use it in battle, but it needs to have certain synergies to work. I don't think it's super push and shove. Use the repair in a no healing rule set. That's fun. That's lots of fun because people don't expect that a lot of the time. I'm gonna put it in the use it in battle, but maybe category as far as my brain is concerned for that one. And I'm gonna move on to the next one, Sea Stalker. What have we got here? We have a rare card with 4 abilities. So we got Snipe, Camouflage, Cleanse, and Headwinds at max level. Otherwise, we've just got Snipe and Camouflage. 4 damage is big for a 1 BCX card. Camouflage is also big. I think this one is, yes, it's a good choice. But I think anything with camo is considered cheating. Push and shove. Yeah, for lower leagues, I think this is going to be a great card because there's no return fire. And you're going to have this target that can just sit at the back and go bang, 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 bang without any retribution. I think it's a push and shove as well. I'm glad we agree on that one, Sean NFT. All right, Watercaller. This card has really great artwork. I like the artwork for this. It reminds me a lot of Magi of the Forest from Alpha. Same sort of compositional elements in there. But here we have a card that is 5 mana. We got Stun and we've got Blast Shield. Now, Blue Splinter is spoiled because you've got Reach and Blast Shield with that reward card. I feel like Watercaller is a good option for the rear line. to protect you against any blast and sneak. This one I would probably use it in battle, but it's going to be quite situational. It could be a push and shove. It's going to be a good situational card. It's going to be very annoying, and it probably won't be all that vulnerable to opportunity either, because it's got 5 health. Now, on to the next card. Cry Jotun as its own category. Anything with blast shield is a new tier list. Now, I am very biased towards the backfire ability. I love the backfire ability. I think it's brilliant, but it's not reliable. I wanna say push and shove. Like, my heart tells me I like this card and I'm gonna try and make it work. But other people are like, no, it's useless. It's got this. Scotty Fortune's saying we should burn the Aquatis. I want to put it in push and shove. I really do. I think it belongs as a good summoner. Scotty's like, burn it. What I can do then is like cut it in half and put half of it in push and shove, and then put the other half of it in burn the card, right? We'll cut it in half because we can't decide. So I think this one's probably going to be one of the most divisive cards in the set in terms of its utility. If it works, it's going to work really nicely, but it's going to be really situational. So I'm just going to put this one right down in the middle because I feel like it's debatable how well this is going to go. There's a lot of dodge in Blue Splinter. You combine that with Deep Swimmer. You can't combine it with Deep Swimmer's Blind because you can't use 2 summoners at a time. But it's going to be... It's interesting. If you've seen some crazy games where backfire just goes nuts, particularly with something like Biz Kitty or whatever, I think Aquatis is going to be sort of... It'll surprise you. I'm going to controversially put it in push and shove because it's my tier list. And I've got to generate some, anger and genuine rage in the chat so that you guys can yell at me, right? Otherwise it wouldn't be fun. So I'm putting Aquatis in push and shove. Next up, we have Rune Monster Kai. Life Leech is another ability that I am absolutely all for. The fact that we've got another flying creature for Blue Splinter is wonderful. The fact that she costs 10 mana is a little bit difficult to swallow. The Amplify, I'm not sure why we'd get Amplify when there's not all that much stuff. It is a joint tier list. But let's go back to this Aquatis guy. Where's it gonna go? Maybe we'll just put it in the meme list. We'll make like another... We'll put him on top of meh. He can be the definition of meh. But I think he's usable in battle. But Rune Monster Kai, I think they're going to be quite situational. I'd say they can be used in battle rather comfortably. But yeah. So we've got Fire Splinter performing really well right now. They've got a cheating card. We've got good balance here, and then we've got more of a well-rounded thing. Now let's put Aquatis in burn. Let's be really controversial. I'm going to put him in burn, and then I'm going to try and use Aquatis in every battle. And then I'm going to be like the meme lord of using a Quaddus to win. That's going to be my entire Splinterlands career from this point. That is how I get to Silver League. I'll see you there, guys. So we've done 2 splinters now. We're off to see the fairies in the green splinter. We will start with the Bramble Pixie. We've got reach and we've got heal. It's the last thing green splinter needs right now is more heals. Yes, a Quaddus will be my new llama. It'll be a Quaddus plus creature. It'll be like, let's use this card and one other creature. Nothing else. But that card doesn't have last stand. I don't care. I think Bramble Pixie could be fun behind something like whatchamacallit, my Silic Slipspawn. You put my Silic Slipspawn in the front, you put this in the second position, then you spam triages and heals. I think this is going to be a use it in battle. It's going to be very useful. It feels a role that has an obvious counter, i.e. Mimosa or any other affliction, but it's going to be useful. It's not complete garbage, which I have to say, it's only the third common to make it into use it in battle, which is good. Each of the splinters we've looked at so far have one. Now, I love the artwork for Lycan Beast. It is so cool. I love the fact that we've got like different colors coming in. It's growing stuff. It looks kind of like a cross between a bear and a wolf. It's awesome looking. And here we have Almo Mini. But Almo Mini has not a great deal of speed. So that phase is going to be somewhat unreliable, I think. But 5 mana, it's a great card for 5 mana. If this was a 4 mana card, I'd be saying, oh yes, I want lots of them. They'll be super useful. But I think the 5 mana cost is too much for what it gets. And I suppose if you're using it in reverse speed, it could work well. Reverse speed plus phase, it would be a nice surprise, but then it's got Enrage to come and spoil your day when it gets hit, and then the phase ends up backfiring and stuff. So I think this is meh, bordering on burn the card. But the artwork is so cool. That's so conflicting. So super conflicting about what you want to do with it, because the artwork's just it's lovely, it's nice. But yeah, I'm putting it in there. Alright, now we have yet another triage, an offensive triage for the green splinter. We've also got a stun here. Thankfully, it's also under 10 mana. I think triage is one of the most broken things in the game. You can see it happening with Life Splinter with their multiple triages. You can see it happen with Blue Splinter with their multiple triages. And guess what? Green Splinter's getting in on the fun now as well. I think this is a good mix between offense and defense. And even though it's only got 2 abilities, it's got 2 amazing abilities. The fact that it's got 4 attack means it's gonna absolutely destroy stuff that's got force field, and it's going to be amazing against something like an Oceanus, because Oceanus has phase as opposed to dodge. I think this guy is gonna go somewhere between use it in battle. I feel like I need another category down here, which is just like solid, just pure solid. I'm gonna make a new category, because I wouldn't push and shove for this guy, but if you got this as your rare in a pack, you wouldn't be mad. We got 6 categories on the tier list. I just made up my own little box. It's solid. It's solid. It's got great utility. And this is my first time looking at these cards, by the way. So I'm going into this blind. I haven't really taken the time to go in and sort of study all of the cards and have any premeditated decisions about anything, other than what we've seen on the town halls and that sort of thing. Now, Fernheart, close range, with Green Splinter. I'm sorry, but this is very, very clearly push and shove. This is one of the best summoners, I think, that we will see. It's got great synergy with the existing cards, and on the scale of why would you choose any of the other 4 mana life Splinter summoners, Green Splinter summoners, just Fernheart. Just get Fernheart and go wild. That's all I gotta say. Synergizes so well with so many cards in Green Splinter. It gives Green Splinter so much utility, because Green Splinter is great with magic. It's great with range stuff. It's great with melee stuff. It's a really well balanced all around Splinter. I just realized that I forgot the Sude Shaman. And we have something with Charge, Giant Killer, and Rust. At low level, it's got pretty low speed, but I guess magic can't really miss all that much. I think this is a solid card. I think it's sort of going to be on the Uriel level of things, but at the same time, I feel like it could also be very meh. It could be like that fire card that has. I'm going to put this one in meh. Do I have anyone disagreeing with me for Sude Shaman to be anything with recharges in burn? The fact that it's magic with recharge, I think it's got slightly more utility than burn, because against a fire Splinter, it's going to be alright. Hey, Rick on the Mountain, thank you for the incoming raid. I'm going to put the Shaman in the meh tier list. I still feel dirty about putting a summoner in the burn list, though. You all have terrible influence on my decision making. And finally, we've got Necromancer Flore. Now, here's an interesting card. We've got no abilities for a 13 mana card. No abilities at all. But they are capable of dealing out 7 damage per turn at max level. I think this one's going to be weird. They've got an enormous amount of health as well. Sean reckons this one is in the cheating tier. I think this one is... It sort of needs its own tier. It definitely needs its own tier. It's going to be capable of doing just horrible, terrible things to teams. And yes, with the close range from the new green summoner, I think this card is, in the right circumstances, it's going to be cheating, but I'd say let's push and shove for this card. Like in some rule sets, it's going to be like beyond cheating. It's going to be like the god empress of the work, of the world, of the universe even. But yeah, I would push and shove for Necromancer Flurry. I definitely would. So that is our green Splinter done. Now we're off to Life Splinter, one of my favorite splinters. Now we have Sneak and Fury. So when we're done killing the taunting creature, we can go and mutilate the enemy's back line. I think at a low level, it's going to be pretty average, but at high level, it's going to be pretty essential. The fact that it's snuck in with 4 damage as opposed to 5 is really nice. Means you need at least 3 demoralizers to make it completely useless. So I think I'd use it in battle, but I wouldn't say it's good enough to be solid. I'd prefer Chaos Knight, because Chaos Knight has Giant Killer, and a lot of these taunt creatures are big beasts. So somewhere between use it in battle and solid, I think. Gonna be situational. I'm not sure how well these Fury cards are gonna go. We have the Time Meddler. So I feel like at max level in particular, this is just a better version of the floating skull. The fact that they have Return Fire and Thorns makes me think, oh, they'd be great in the Lost Magic rule set, but they themselves would not be existing in the Lost Magic rule set. So I feel like this card is a little bit of a contradiction. Definitely yes, with Wraith they would be a good combo, but for 8 mana as a backline they'd be great. They've got enough defense to sort of hold their own back there. They'd also be absorbing a bit of repair. I think they're solid. I think that's probably one of the best rounded commons that we've seen out of this. It's the only one that I'm putting in there. Again, they're going to be pretty situational though. Thank you for the resub there, Simple Scientist. The channel appreciates it. It's not just me that you help when you do that. You help all the streamers as a collective. So thank you. Now, Runeslinger. To me, you got a stun, you got affliction, and you've got cripple. I think this guy, for 5 mana, I think this is another solid. I don't think this is a push and shove, but I think it's pretty freaking solid. Life Splinter doesn't have a lot of stuns, so it's gonna be really nice to have a stun. You combine this with something like a Tower Griffin or anything else that has knockout in there, and it just becomes even stronger. So many people do not appreciate the effects of the knockout rule set. I'm gonna put him in solid. The fact that cripple will be fixed now, that it can't be cleansed anymore, makes me like this card even more. It makes me like cripple a lot, like an enormous amount. So I like this. I'm just trying to think to myself, what would I exclude from my team today to include this? Would I play a Dr. Blight instead? Possibly. Depends on the rule set. If you've got no neutrals and you need an affliction, that gives Life Splinter 2 afflictions with the 2 mana card that has affliction in Life Splinter. What's it called? No, I can't remember the name of it, and I am blind because I'm clearly not seeing the card. But I hope you guys, maybe it's a reward card. Maybe a reward card. Is it a reward card, what I'm thinking about? No, it's not. Surely it's not an Untamed card. What is the card I'm thinking of? It's right in front of me, right there, Dax Paragon. You play that with Dax Paragon. You've got 2 afflictions hitting the enemy. I think it's good, but you know, cleanse is gonna ruin your day as it tends to. Now, let's turn to Corsair Abusan. Level 5, they get all of their abilities. It's a 40 BCX card to get 3 abilities with Reach, with Reflection Shield, with Cleanse. So you've basically got an immortal cleanse based on the amount of health that they've got, plus where the positioning of this card's going to be. If you've got a rule set that doesn't have healing, it's going to be really good. I want to put it here into push and shove, but I think it's just use it in battle. I don't think it's good enough to go down to solid. Like, it's going to be a staple. It's going to be an absolute staple of the Life Splinter. We're going to start seeing it all the time. I guess solid. I'm gonna put it down here with the solids. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't think I would want to push and shove. I see it sort of on the same sort of tier level as Silver Shield Sheriff, where they've got the snipe and the protect, and they're really useful all around and underappreciated. So I'm going to put it in solid because I don't think people are going to push and shove for this card, but I think that they should, but not enough to put it in that category, just to put it down here in solid town. Now, I believe we come to the summoner, Ilthaean or Ilthian, however we say it, whatever we say about it. We get more speed in the Life Splinter, and we get Return Fire. We turn everyone into a shield bearer. Who is going to benefit the most from this? You imagine Uriel with this card? I think based on the strength of the other Life Summoner cards, I'm going to dump this one in meh. Because I still think Lorna is the superior choice. You're exchanging potential damage back to the enemy in exchange for free not hitting me guaranteed that Lorna gives you. I think it's meh. Like, I love the Return Fire ability. I love that it's going to give life more speed choices. But if I'm going to spend 4 mana on that card, I'm going to be pretty controversial and say meh, because I'm going to choose Lorna over Ilthian. And if I want speed with Life Splinter and dragons available, I'm just going to choose Kitty. I guess it is a Jotun counter. I guess it could be like a Quicks sort of thing, but I still think it's meh. Like, I'm not going to go absolutely crazy for this particular card. I would 9 times out of 10 choose Lorna over this card, because Lorna is more reliable. You've got to also realize this is going to be an epic card. Lorna's a rare. The distribution is probably going to be about the same once everything's taken into account in terms of pack openings and how many epics will drop versus how many rares dropped from dice, which is where Lorna came from, of course. So I think on the balance of that, I think she's going to be pretty meh. That's my opinion. Now, I misread this card here. I thought it said Necromancer, a twat, or a toot, or whatever this strange twisting turn of tongue is. We get 3 abilities at level 3. Up until then, it's just a headwinds machine. But it does get force field at level 2. It's got a lot of health, and then guess what? It's got a last stand as well, but it's pretty slow. I don't see this becoming another Cron if we're going to judge last stand cards by the gold standard that is Cron. I think it's gonna be... I wouldn't be happy if I got this out of a pack. I don't think I would use it in battle. I think it's easy to counter. You chuck a single silence on that. Even at the big leagues, I see this sort of having similar levels of utility to Cthulhu, which if the enemy isn't expecting magic and you get Cthulhu down to having a last stand, it's great. But I think this is going to be the worst legendary out of the set so far. I'm putting it in the meh category, only because I wouldn't burn the card. I wouldn't physically burn any of these cards, but if I did, I would. I don't see the greatness that's there. Maybe in reverse speed, useful, but I feel like burn. I mean, he looks very chilly, dressed up in his Arctic attire here. He needs some warmth. We're going to set him on fire. That's my view. Now we go to the Death Splinter, where things go after they've been set on fire and have been burned alive. So we have an absolute god level card in low leagues, Enrage, plus 4 damage to start. With all that health, amazing. And then he gains Force Field and he's still got all that health. Amazing. Only thing holding him back is the speed. He'll be easy to dodge. Magic will get him, I guess, eventually, but slowly. It's probably pretty expensive in terms of the mana it costs to get him out onto the battlefield, particularly for a common. I think Night Ghoul is just going to be solid. No, actually, I take that back. I'm going to say it's going to be a in between a solid and a use in battle, but I'm going to put it in the use in battle category. Because he's going to pair well with all the summoners. He's going to pair well with Ouster. He's going to pair well with Mimosa. He's going to pair well with... oh, what is her name? What is her name? Contessa. He's going to pair well with Contessa. He's going to pair amazingly with Thaddeus as well. And probably going to pair well with Dallin. He won't pair well being pitted against Dallin. But back to the task at hand. We have Arachne Thug. We have a spider. We have a spider who is pretending to be the Desert Dragon for less mana. I like this card. I think it synergizes with Death Splinter really well. Death Splinter has some solid, amazing stuns. I'm going to make sure we look at it from this perspective here with all the abilities taken into account. Arachne Thug. Death Splinter needs some tramples. It fills a gap that Death Splinter currently has. I'm gonna put it beyond solid and say push and shove, because it's not quite cheating, but this fills a void that Death Splinter does not currently have filled. Death Splinter has so many stuns in it. The fact that this card has knockout by default means you're going to be dropping 6 damage. Not 3, 6 damage. And you're going to be doing that from the second position. That's going to be outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. I think it's beyond solid. I think it's for Death Splinter aficionados, this fills a void. And we have to put one common card in push and shove, right? I think Arachne Thug could be that card. Because it's definitely not cheating. Maybe we put it in solid. Maybe it's controversial for me to put it in push and shove. But if we have a look at the cards in the environment that it'll have to work with, from Chaos Legion and the reward set, focusing mainly on modern here, you put this behind something like a Harclaw, it's going to be great. You put it behind something like a what is it called? A Dark One. It's going to be wonderful. You couple it up with some stuns. Magi Necrosi. You can stun the second position. You can use Cthulhu to stun the first position. You've got an absolute monster if you pull it off right. I think it's pretty dang solid. Next up, we have the Kabbalist, or Kabbalist. We have an Amplify, we've got a Giant Killer, and a Demoralize. Now, this guy has a sort of face that I think should be 7 mana. I think he's a pretty good replacement for something like a Phantom Soldier. I think this guy can go down into the solid category, but in the right hands, he will be a god, an absolute freaking god. Let's put him down there. I didn't make the Photoshop canvas large enough, clearly. Now we've got another rare. It's 9 mana. What have we got? We've got Close Range, Headwinds, and Slow from level 5. Then we've got Return Fire. How much health do you have? 13 health. That's outrageous. This is an outrageous card, and you throw Close Range on top of that. Oh, this card. This card is a monstrous abomination. Because you pair it with Ouster, you've got Magic Reflect. You pair it with Mimosa, you've got Void, and then you've got double Headwinds going on. This card has absurd synergies with Death Splinter. If it had a little bit more speed, I mean, it's got slow, so you could consider it having 4 speed instead of 3. I think this is going to be an underappreciated card. It's a subtle card, but once you get it going, I think this card will be cheating. It just depends on which summoner you pair it with and making sure your positioning is absolutely bulletproof. You could even use it as just a frontline tank if you wanted to be arrogant. You could be so arrogant with this card. You could use it as a frontline tank and put Dark Hawan in the rear in a high mana match and just be like, hey, You want to fight me? You can't fight me. Because you got to fight Darker One in the back. It's missing shield in that regard. Or like a Thorns or something. But, oh. I think... Is it cheating? I think it's... You got to understand how to use it properly. So I think it's going to be a solid. I'm going to move the word solid up a little bit. Because we're starting to get too many solid cards now. And I'm aware of the fact that these are all in different sizes. But I didn't plan this in advance, this sort of tier list. This is as much for me as it is for you guys to try and come to terms with what we're going to see in Rift Watches. And I'm going to make the cheating section much smaller because I don't think there's going to be many more cards that fall into that category. But I'm happy for that to be corrected. We'll expand the size of the meh category. So far I've put 2 summoners in that meh category. And we've only got Fernheart in the push and shove, and we've decided as a collective to burn one of the summoners. So interesting times. Let's go have a look at the next card. It is Dallin. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say about this. This is going to be as divisive as Backfire. We have Cripple. Now, let's bear in mind the fact that Cripple will no longer be able to be cleansed. And it reduces max HP by 1. But did you know that Cripple stacks? So if you keep hitting the same target, you reduce their amount of total HP. Reducing their amount of total HP is manipulation of the life forces of your opponent. And therefore, cheating. And a lot of people are going to disagree. A lot of people are going to be like, it's useless, it just feels like Waka. No, you're wrong. Cripple is going to be so broken and so good and so fantastic. You combine that with magical attacks and everything else, it's cheating. Trust me, it's cheating. I think this is cheating too. We have Ra. At max level, they get 5 abilities. Even at level 3, they get 5 abilities. And what brilliant abilities they are. Look, think about this card in bronze. 6 damage, going anywhere in the team. Does the scatter shot potentially hit different targets? 2 randoms in one go. This card is absolute cheating. Combined with Rust to give it further synergies. You happen to hit something that costs more than 10 mana, it's just going to absolutely obliterate it with Giant Killer. You are absolutely OP and amazing, and I look forward to welcoming you to my deck. It's going to be amazing. That is cheating. Imagine that with Dallin. You're crippling 2 cards in the enemy team every turn. Cheating. Cheating. And I love it. I think it's gonna process. So double strike, the way it works currently, it's mainly on a lot of sneak creatures. You go bang once, then if that creature dies, you hit another one. So I think the scatter shot is going to apply to a different target as opposed to the first one, because it does do 2 distinct attacks as opposed to 1 attack that does double damage. So on QA it does do that. That's how it behaves. It's 2 distinct sets of attacks. Cool. I haven't played any games on the QA server, so I don't know. Hey Jagged, welcome. We are currently constructing a tier list for the glorious Rift Watches pack. I'm going to try and stay up to see if I can get a whitelist spot for the Runies. I plan not on sleeping because I have tomorrow off work. I, of course, had today off work as well. We had a public holiday here in Australia due to the Necromancer and their inabilities to resurrect the Queen from her divorce from this corporeal realm. That's all I wish to say on that topic. But yes, today was a day of National Day of Mourning. It was meant to be. I spent my day driving between various automotive part stores trying to find a very specific fastener for my car, and I failed to find said fastener. So that's how I spent my day. We're on to the Dragon Splinter now, and we've got the Whelp Herder. Lowest mana card we're seeing in the set. Opportunity, Snare, and Dispel. This guy's a mini dragon jumper. Not so useful in the low leagues. I think this is like the new Celestial Harpy. But for dragon. But with bonus. And for a common card. For a common card? So broken. Okay, Jagged. I had the calipers out earlier today measuring this screw because never in my life have I seen a screw like it. It is 25 millimeters long. It has a 20 millimeter washer embedded at the screw head, which is pentalobe for some reason. I don't understand why. Doesn't matter what it is, but the thread pitch is 3 millimeter. It is the weirdest screw I have ever seen in my life. And it is used to hold on trim on the underside of a vehicle. So you know how you've got the underneath the engine bay, you've got little bits of trim to make sure that water doesn't get into the engine bay and ruin everything. And also if you hit rocks, it doesn't jam up in amongst things. It is a weird screw. There was two holding in this piece of trim underneath the bottom of my car. Then I got the car serviced, and then yesterday, when I was driving home from my mother's house, I looked at the underside of my car as I walked down her driveway back to my car. I'm like, what is that? And it was a piece of trim. I'm a very technical person, so I apologize if me talking about literal screws is boring and, you know, in such extravagant detail about the screw. You know, with this stream, you never know what you're going to get. Whelp Herder, in my mind, is push and shove. It is the rebirth of a dice card from the Dragon Splinter, which I do not own. No, not even Dice Splinter. Where does this card that I'm thinking of come from? Was it a promo? No. What is the card that I am thinking of? It's a card that I don't own. It's not in Chaos Legion. Is it that old, the card I'm thinking of? Fiendish Harpy. Fiendish Harpy is what I'm thinking of. Whelp Herder is Fiendish Harpy. Just new and improved. Without the scavenge, but that's fine. You've got Dispel. That's going to be a push and shove. You're going to want that card. It's going to be very, very nice. Very good in battle. Next up, we have the Runic Sky Claw. We have flying. We have snipe. Reflection Shield, and Giant Killer. This guy's going to hang out in the back lines of teams. Does Reflection Shield doesn't take damage from Blast, Magic Reflect, Thorns, or Return Fire. My fear with this card is that Snare is going to make it easy pickings for various creatures. 6 health for 9 mana is also going to make it quite vulnerable to opportunity. I am very torn about this Runic Sky Claw. I want to put it in solid, but I feel like it's going to be very vulnerable to Snare. So we got one person saying cheating. We've got another person saying push and shove. I'm feeling solid. It's got really good speed though as well, but a single snare and it's done. It's basically, it's over and it's vulnerable to opportunity with its low health relative to other things that you'd be playing at that level. I think it's use it in battle. It is fast, but if something has snare, it will always hit something with flying. So you've got a lot of opportunity creatures that have snare. I'm gonna put it in solid. I don't feel comfortable putting it in solid, but I'll be happy to be proven wrong when it defeats me in battle. Because it's not really a tank, it's more of a support creature. I think it's going to be what can the Runic Sky Claw do for things that are around it, as opposed to what impact can it have on the battle itself. I think that's where its strength is going to lie. I kind of just want to put it... I'm going to put it and use it in battle. I'm going to demote it even further than solid. Because I'd rather just play a Chaos Dragon. It is also like right below a giant, but Dragon Jumper, 2 turns, Dragon Jumper, and this is gone. In 2 turns, it can only do 8 damage, maybe less. Oh, it does get Giant Killer at lax level. I forgot to take that into account. Oh, yeah, no. Solid. Because a Giant Killer, it becomes solid. It becomes very, very solid. I wanted to put it into push and shove, but solid, very, very vulnerable to opportunity though. Extremely vulnerable to opportunity. Gonna go have a look at the next one. The one that everyone hates saying, the Thiptha. And we have Phase. Phase for the Dragon Splinter. I think anything Dragon Splinter, particularly Summoners, the utility that's going to have is going to be outrageous against everything and anything that it strikes. You can couple that with any Splinter. It's going to be awesome. I don't think I need to say much more than that. Thiptha. I don't need to bite my tongue. I need to, just remove my tongue in order to say that. Wow, a 15 mana machine here. Agor Longtail. I thought Chaos Dragon was a big boy. This guy. Massive. This is fundamentally... I don't know how to feel about this. 15 mana is so much. Giant Killer would be so good against it. But it has Void Armor. It also has Taunt. That makes it vulnerable to Fury, I guess. If I have 99 mana, though, I'll play it. I like Chaos Dragon, even though Chaos Dragon is often unreasonable. I think it's going to die very quickly, because everything's going to be trying to bring it down. If you know you're going to be fighting magic, though, it's going to be pretty nice. But a single affliction, it's done for. I think it's a Mimi card. If you couple it with Phase, it's going to be basically immune to magic. But it's going to get destroyed by someone like Fernheart. It's going to get destroyed by someone like Dallin. Because imagine 6 attacks in one turn, it's down to 8 health, then you get hit once by something with Giant Killer and you're done. I think Boom Burst is correct. It's meh. In the context of what can happen to it, it's meh. I'd rather it didn't get Taunt until max level. Remember, you can use 2 taunts. It's meh because it's a Digimon. You can use 2 taunts, yes. I'm gonna say meh. If I had to choose between a Chaos Dragon and Longtail, I'd choose the Chaos Dragon every single day. That's my feeling. I'm just going to see what my other big choices would be here. So if you've got 2 taunts in a team, the taunt that is closer to the front will be the one that gets attacked first. Then once that creature is defeated, the taunt will go to the other one that is remaining in the team. I mean, theoretically, you could use 3 taunts now with Dragon, Longtail, Lurker. If you want to make it even more disgusting, you could use 4 taunts if you chose to play Blue Splinter, because you could have Kraken, then these 2 guys, and then combine it with the Water reward card that also has Taunt. Is it a reward card? I'm pretty sure it's a reward card. Is it a reward card or is it a Chaos Legion card? I don't know what editions my cards come from anymore. Wave Brute. That'd be an annoying synergy. That'd be a ridiculously annoying synergy. If we're getting to the point where we have to use like multiple taunts to make the card viable, how does that make it better than Mare? Like why would you do that? Maybe use it in battle and it's a bit of a meme, but I think it's closer to Mare. Thank you for giving me the idea of playing 4 taunts in one battle, though, everyone. I look forward to using that knowledge in the future. Now we're on to the neutrals. And this has only taken me 45 minutes. I didn't expect this to last or take so long. So we have a neutral monster with Fury and Snare. They cost 8 mana. They've got a decent amount of damage. Their speed is middle of the road. Their health is pretty low. I think if I got this card in a pack, I would not be a happy boy. I think this card here is very solidly in the burn the card. I don't care about you. 8 mana. I could put way better things in my team for 8 mana. Any objections? Any objections to Runecrafter going in burn? Oh, good. Good, we have no objections. 8 damage on taunts. Yeah, I'd like to refer you to Ra. That does technically up to 16 damage on taunts. So Ra would kill Longtail very quickly. Who's going to throw that out there? Whereas Runecrafter, yeah, it has to be able to hit first true. It's only 3 speed on the Runecrafter. So that's going to go very firmly into the burn it to the ground category. Now, we have Junker. We have a neutral repair with reach that costs 7 mana. I think this is going to be incredibly situational. I think it is an introduction of the Fire Splinter's ranged repair. I would use this card quite often. Giving Life Splinter another repair would be so broken. He's a good repairman. Giving Dragon another repair, quite solid. Giving Death an actually useful repair, amazing. Even though you'd be doubling up on the armor here. Play it with Life, it has an armor. Play it with Dragon, with the 4 mana Dragon Summoner. It's got repaired there too. I think it's going to be pretty good. You couple it with something like Time Meddler, it's good. But then you've got to look at the other options for that second position in Life. You'd choose Corsair Buson, I'd say, over Junker every single time, because then you can slot a Brightwing in with the repair. I think with Fire Splinter, imagine it behind Septic Slime. I think that would be pretty good. That way you've got a heal and a repair happening. You couple it with Life Splinter, it's got an extra health. Green Splinter, that it doesn't have other bits and pieces. So there's many better choices for that second position. I think situational, somewhere between use it in battle and solid is where I'd probably put it. What is the next card? The Skago Necromancer. So this card is just Blast, Shatter, Blind. I think this card already exists. What card am I thinking of? I'm thinking of a Dragon Legendary. Name of Gloridax Magus. How much do we love Gloridax Magus? Let's take a screen grab of Gloridax Magus. Copy that. We will put this directly into Photoshop. We'll make it massive. We'll also put it on the top of the layers, and then we'll jump back over to Rift Watchers. And we'll grab the Skago Necromancer. We'll go to the max level. Then we'll take a screenshot. And this is a long-winded meme that I'm about to make here. Okay. Corporate needs you to explain the difference between these two pictures. They're the same picture. who's seen Gloridax Mages be useful in battle? Not me. Why would you pay 1 less mana to get something more useless to use in battle? Yeah, it may take away the armor on the secondary target, but it does it today via Gloridax Mages. Sure, it's possibly more accessible, but why? Why? Like, at least in the leagues I've been playing at, I think you're useless. I think you're useless, Skago Technomancer, because you are a Gloridax Magus. The fact that it's neutral... Technically, so is Gloridax Magus, because you're playing that with any Splinter. It's the same card. Maybe we put it in Meh, and that makes everyone feel happy. But the card already exists. And it already exists in Modern. It's not like it's a rehash of a other card. The fact that you can use it in other Splinters, it's pretty slow with the blind. It would be useful maybe in reverse speed. But I'm torn between putting it in to the fire and putting it in Meh. No, I'll be doing no such thing, Boomburst. I'll still be maxing out my Rift Watches. I would definitely be still maxing out my Rift Watches because it's all about utility. It will be useful in some way, somehow, but the card already exists. So I think this is more of an emotional response to the whole, why is this card? Why? Why is it here? What is its purpose? And why is it doing things? Yes. This would be part of Modern, and the dragon card that I was referring to, it's actually a Untamed legendary, if I recall correctly. Gloridax Magus, yes. It is a Untamed legendary. Maybe it's being sort of reintroduced in a way to say, hey, well, look at this. It's a useful card. Why aren't you using it? Maybe if we make it a neutral. So I think it's meh because there's better choices. That's my response. And hey, April 4th Street, welcome. We are putting together a Rift Watchers tier list. And we're up to the last installment, the Corel Lurker. I think I'm just going to pop this one on the canvas, and then we're going to continue the conversation on Skago Technomancer, because I think we have mixed feelings as a group on Skago Technomancer. It doesn't have knockout, so it's missing that over the Gloridax Magus. There's gonna be a lot of phase. If you're playing it with Dragon, the blind is gonna be useful for phase, but only 2 speed, 5 health. The Shatter's nice, the Blast is nice, but if I had Rust, it would be more of a unique card. I think if I had Rust, it would be more useful, because that's guaranteed to go through. Because if you're up against something that's got Magic Reflect, you're going to be dead in 2 turns. You don't have enough health to keep yourself alive against that Magic Reflect. And there's a lot of Magic Reflect out there. I'd rather use a Chaos Dragon against Wraith. I'd rather use a Chaos Dragon against anything, but that's a different scale of a creature, I think. I think people are going to think this is going to be a good card when, for 5 mana, you've got other superior choices. That's my feeling on it. In reverse speed, it'll be amazing. Yes, completely agree. Reverse speed, it will be incredible. But so would technically Gloridax Magus, but I never see it be played in reverse speed. Because for the mana, there's better choices that you can make. Sure, it's a neutral. But I still stand by meh. Only because it's not something new in terms of the tactical choices we can make. Now we come to this guy. Is this a modern day Hydra? The only disappointing part is it's got 11 mana to bring it into battle. So it's vulnerable to Giant Killer. It's vulnerable to Fury. But you have to hit it first. I think it's not quite cheating. But I think it's definitely push and shove. That's my view on this one. It is cheating. Imagine it with Kitty and Enrage. Oh, in certain circumstances, I think it can be cheating. The fact that it's neutral. The fact that you could play it in a team like this. And the fact that it's neutral and you could also throw this in. Add a blind in. Oh, I wonder where we're going to get a blind from. Maybe this Technomancer? This team here would just be outrageous together. Absolutely outrageous. You'd have to be able to hit it first. Where did this guy come from? He came from Use in Battle. Yeah, Brighton Bloom, if you were to add flying, you need an outrageous cheating team section to bring everything together. Oh, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very, very chaotic in the first days of this expansion coming out. It's gonna be excellent. And I think once people start actually playing with these cards, we might see more Rift Watchers packs sold, and that won't be a bad thing. So of these, I think if I'm to then put these in an order of which ones you want to push and shove for the most, I think Fernheart, Whelp Herder, so these are my selections in terms of the pushiest and the shoviest in order. I think Tinderlock is actually the least appealing. Maybe Necromancer Flora is the least appealing of these. But Summoner Always is the most appealing. I cannot overstate how great the Whelp Herder is going to be. You may as well call them the Herter. Because 3 mana, they're the new Celestial Harpy. But better now with Dispel. the fact that they're a common and you're going to need lots of them to max them out, that's going to be the hottest common, I feel like, of the set. In terms of the cheating side of things, well, I think this is going to be my ultimate order. Always prioritize the summoner, then throw in your neutral as the next one that you want to have the most of. Then I think the Fire Splinter one has got a little bit more utility than the big death monster, just absolute arcane beast of a thing. That's my order. So I think the poster child is probably these two out of that. Then we've got the solid tier. We've got no neutrals or no summoners in there. Life Splinter's in there a fair bit. I think the Green Splinter one is probably the most solid, followed by Corsair Busan, Meddler, the Sky Claw. I think the Arcane Thug is probably lower. Not sure how we feel about that as my feelings on the solid tier in terms of desirability. I feel like that is the best I can do for organizing those around. Thoughts, arguments, debates, feed me info. Or sit there in silence. I'm not fussed. I'll move on. You wouldn't rank half of those like that? All right, talk to me. How would you organize these? Are they even solid cards? Do we just remove the solid category and say use it in battle? The Sneak White would move into solid. Yeah, Sneak is very powerful with Life Splinter, Feral Spirit, Stitch Leech, Silver Shield Assassin. In Modern, yes. In Wild, I think it could still be defeated. I am willing to move the Exile though. Definitely willing to move the Exile. Still think these are mighty fine, these cheating cards. Would there be anything else that would move into solid? Oh, there's one card that we've forgotten about. There is the Rift Watchers promo card. It's a dragon card, isn't it? This one. So we've got another legendary dragon. that we've forgotten about. Oshu Constantina. Where would we put this? We've got Resurrect, Blast Shield, Heal. Fair bit of damage, really affordable, at least in comparison to these other cards. I think it could be cheating. It's basically an immune heal. As long as you have something else in your team with less than 6 health, it's not vulnerable to opportunity either because of the blast shield. Yeah. I think it's cheating. And I'd actually probably swap these around. I think that's going to be more useful than that overall. I feel pretty comfortable with this take of this stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what Arachne will be like. But because I'm on the QA server with my 10,000 imaginary Rift Watchers packs, we can go and do some simulated Rift Watchers openings. Let's stock up on potions first. Again, imaginary potions. Because we're on the QA server here. So we've got imaginary potions. We're going to get imaginary potions. And we're going to do imaginary pack openings. So I can use up all my good luck before the real Rift Watchers packs get opened. Press the wrong button there. Let's open 200 of them on the QA server here. And do an imaginary simulation. And at the same time, let's keep an eye on our tier list on one side of our screen to see how we feel when we actually flip the cards over and see whether or not we feel happy about this. First one out of the gates. Oh, look at that. Look at that luck. It's our push and shove. And it's the summoner. And then it's gold on top of that. So big happiness there. Oh, and then we get regular ones. Plot twist. It's all Fernheart. Every single card. Then we get Corsair Buson, which is pretty up high on the solid list. So far we're happy. And then I get happy because 6 Arachne Thugs is also in my list. And now we have a legendary. And it's Mortius. Which, where did we put it? We just said use it in battle. Then we've got Meh of the Ash Mirage. Then we've got Solid, the Rune Slinger, so we don't feel too bad about that. Junker. I put it use it in battle, but I don't feel happy about flipping it over. This is a bit of an emotional test now as well for these cards. Then we've got Coastal Nymph. I put that in Meh. I don't feel happy about it at all. It's a common. We're going to see a lot of those. Then we've got a single gold foil summoner, which we said was meh. Well, I said was meh. Then we've got Queen of Crows. So we've hit solid, but I didn't feel really super enthused about Queen of Crows being in solid, I guess. Now we've got some sort of legendary here. It's the Burn legendary. I felt excited for a very brief moment and then I saw failure and disappointment in my eyes. Then we got the Time Meddler. I feel pretty meh about flipping it over because the card art doesn't really do much for me, but when they get up to higher levels, they are solid. Now we've got a Bramble Pixie. I put that at use it in battle. I feel indifferent, which is probably where you want to be for use it in battle. Then we get the Coriol Lurker, and it's like, yeah, I'm cheating. Yes. Oh, yes. The Techno Wizologist. More cheating. Very specific situational cheating, but still cheating all the same. Then the Meh Technomancer. Not happy about it. Happy about that. That was the one that sort of made me the most happy, but it's also the first green card since the original. Oh, that's a great one, Jagged. Is Techno Wizologist skilled in the Uran specialties. Yeah, I feel okay about Longtail coming out as a legendary. I'm not mad. And then we've got the gold foil common, the solid gold foil common. I feel like, yeah, that'd be one you definitely would like to have maxed in gold foil, because you're gonna use those sorts of cards more often than not. Oh, another one. Another gold foil. I need to buy potions on my main account. This is crazy how many golds are dropping out here. I'd be pretty happy about Rune Monster Flurry, but only because I do have a very soft spot for Green Splinter. And we've got the regular solid Kabbalist. Then Sea Stalker. Where did I put that? I put that in push and shove. But then I flip it over and I think to myself, what is your purpose? But then I remember Snipe plus Camouflage plus Low Leagues. Goddess, rather. Whelp Herder. That's the one we want. That's the pick of the bunch. You want as many of these guys. Well, at least I want as many of these guys as possible. Septic Slime. Yeah, nice. Use it in battle. Then 5 more of them to use in battle. Sweet. Oh, here's the drama. The Aquatus. 4 of them. Oh, 20 Tinderlocks. That's pretty good pushing and shoving right there. Then 55 of the Exile. Solid, as we put it. Where did we put Lemel Refugee? I put it in use it in battle. But I felt better about flipping that over than I did about Arachne Thug, which suggests to me that Arachne Thug, I may have misspoke when I said solid. I think I'm going to put them back into use it in battle. There we go. There's the cheating tier, Dallin. I'm excited because gold card art, and it looks really nice as gold card art, but I still put it in there. And I know that was the topic of some debate. Sude Shaman. I put that in there as well, because it's got charge. And there's the Technomancer. Another card that already exists. The Rune Crafter. Oh, get out of here. Nobody likes your Rune Crafter. You got a cool beard and all, but I don't see the point of you enough. Bramble Pixie. I'm happy about that. And then we have a Thiptha. God, we're going to have a fun time as streamers saying the name of that dragon summoner all the time. And yeah, I'm pretty happy about that Sky Claw. We put them in the solid camp as well. Oh, because Cripple can no longer be cleansed, and every time you hit a target with Cripple, it stacks. So if you have 5 people hitting a monster with Cripple, by the end of that round, that monster has 5 less total health. So it's like an uncleansable affliction. So Cripple is going to be absolutely amazing there. What's next? The Metier Life Summoner, because I'll always pick Lorna over Ilthian. Ooh, Gold Night Ghouls. Ghouls. Then there's a Rune Crafter mixed up in there. Again, I feel bad about it because I put it in the burn the card category. Time Meddler. Very nice. Be nice to get more of it. Coastal Nymph, I feel meh. Skago. Where did I put Skago? I put that in meh as well. More Whelp Herders. Happy. Lycan Beast. Feeling very meh. I can't remember what they do at higher levels. Oh, that's right. They get Enrage as well. So that feels pretty good. More gold foil there. Oh, gold foil. Busans would be good. That's a very much a meh. And now we've got a legendary coming. The Rune Monster. Where did we put Rune Monster? We put Rune Monster in use it in battle. As we did the same with Life Caller. Runic Sky Claw. Gold. Nice. And then Sea Stalker. But that was... Where did that go? It went push and shove. Again, yeah, I forget. Like, this is going to be a card that's going to be like, yeah, I got one. Cool. But then you're going to realize, oh, I got one of them. Cool. And the final legendary here, yes. The Cheating Tier Death card. So that's 200 packs. Simulated imaginary packs. And what a great start that was. And now, just because, you know, it's fun, let's do the... Oh, I keep pressing the wrong button. Let's do the same thing again. Except this time, we're gonna press Reveal All and just stare in wonder at what happens. Oh, you didn't go gold. You didn't go gold. Be nice if 4 of those went gold. Well, lots of gold happening now. Oh, gold Dallin. Very nice. It's not automatically scrolling. Not bad. I think. Oh, I need to get more of them. I don't care. I gotta do the right thing. Gotta burn this imaginary DEC for potions. Buy lots of them. It's all imaginary DEC. It's all imaginary potions. It's all imaginary stuff. Okay. But before I do that, I have to do something. I have to go to Rift Watchers. I have to go to Summoners. I have to go to Aquatus. And then I have to maximize that window. And then I have to burn all the Aquatus that we got, because we put it in the burn tier. So see you later, Aquatus. On the test realm, you're gone. You're out of here. We've got to burn the cards that we put in the burn tier. What else did we put in the burn tier? It was the Rune Crafter and the legendary dude. Yeah, Rune Monster. Get out of here. Get burnt. I won't be doing this on production, but we got to get it done on the test server Just to, you know, send a message. Send a message to these cards. Where was the other one? Who else was to be burned? It was the Rune Crafter. Get burned. Get burned. They're ruthless. So we've burnt the cards that we didn't like. Now we're going to go open another 200 imaginary packs and see what happens. I press reveal or take my hand off the mouse and hope that it scrolls on its own. Well, Mortius seems to be coming out with some level of proficiency. There's been no gold foil legendaries at this point. No, you need to go gold. Wait, there it is. There it is. Rune Monster Kai. First gold on the test server. These summoners seem like they're going to be hard to come by in gold foil. But let's quickly flip back to the tier list here. Do we feel like there should be any changes after we've had the emotional response of opening up those packs, those imaginary packs? Yes, summoners will be definitely the most rare because of the fact that they're epic. But I feel like the only useful summoners are Fernheart and Dallin. Dallin on account of the fact that Cripple is going to function correctly. And oh, I've had some good games with Cripple already. You can now take out a Cron with a single Cripple, especially if you're crippling them on a regular basis. And you know who's going to be amazing with the Cripple fix? The card that's going to be so good and already is so good with the Cripple fix is I don't seem to have it here on the test server. Dampier Infiltrator, because they have Cripple. They will be incredible. Sure, you can't play them with a Cripple summoner. You don't need to. They've got Cripple on their own. But this is a Cron killer right here, everyone. This is a very... Let me switch back over to the production server here and go to the market and go to rewards, dragon. This is a 3-cent, well, at max level, a little bit more expensive. Let's see, does anyone selling a max level one? This is a $5, might I repeat, $5 Cron killer at max level in diamond. Because you get 2 cripples every turn. You hit it with affliction, it can't heal. Cron stands no chance. Sure, you have to be playing Dragon Splinter for it to work, but Infiltrator is an incredible monster. So you'll notice that I haven't been playing any battles today, because in a couple of weeks' time I'll be going on vacation, so I've been playing with Splex just to test it, to see how it works, how it functions. So I had it renting out my cards. I'm waiting for my cards to come off of the rental market before I start playing games again. So that will be good. I found a replacement for my Thursday night slot. So this time, not next week, but the week after, Yes. Rick on the Mountain will be entertaining you. For my Monday evening slots, we are yet to find a suitable host. I did put out a shout out in the Splinterlands TV streamer Discord. So if you're interested, Max, let me know, because I know you're always here during my stream times. So if you want to have some more hours, let me know. Happy to discuss it with you. Yeah, so I'm waiting for this stuff to go through. Now I'm just going to try not sleeping DDICO. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea after this stream. Get myself some more caffeine, because I had a Pepsi Max today and I feel really tired. I don't normally have caffeine and I feel really tired, although I did do my workout stuff really early in the morning today. So maybe that's why I feel tired, but I'm going to try and stay awake, because if I go to sleep and set an alarm, then I'm not going to go back to sleep again. That's going to be even worse than just pushing through the fatigue, getting the thing, then go to sleep afterwards, or not getting the thing and then not going to sleep. Either way, at least I've got tomorrow away from work. So I'm not disappointed. Squats are doing really well. I did a pyramid set today. So started my warm-up with just the bar, incremented up to 100 kilos for 5x5, then decreased the weight by 5 kilos all the way back down. So I probably did 25. I did like 75 squats today, if not more. 25. Yeah, I did like more than 75 squats today, because I basically went until failure when I was deloading all the way down. So I ended up with like, I think 40 squats with just the bar at the end on the deload. So yeah, that was good. That should be the case, Black Rose, unless they change the requirements for the Mav roll between now and then, because Chaos packs count. Rebellion packs as mainline packs should also count as well. Wait until coffee gets to Adelaide. I won't do it. I won't drink it. I'm here in the final moments of my stream, of course, before it's over for today. I'll be staying up for the Rune whitelist. I might get one, I might not. We'll see how quick I am on the clickety-clack on the button and the refresh. I certainly don't have any bots doing it for me. It will be my humanity doing it for me. And it will also be interesting to see what happens for those people who don't manage to get the whitelist. Will they rage buy Chaos Legion packs? Will they rage buy nodes again like they did with the Rift Watchers pre-sale? We'll see. It's going to be interesting no matter what happens. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for having the patience to sit down with me while I do my little tier list here for Rift Watchers. We could always revisit this at a later point in time, but I'm hoping that our projections, are going to be pretty accurate here. We'll find out in about a week's time, and I probably won't be able to spend a lot of time with these cards before I go away on my vacation, so that's disappointing. But when I get back, it's going to be really good. So thank you guys for being with me. Appreciate it. Good chatting. Have a wonderful existence, and I'll catch you all again very, very soon. Cheers.